Hey everyone, welcome back to the desert. May the 4th be with you. And this being episode 4, I figured the 4th on the 4th would be a good thing to do. So in the previous videos, I spent a lot of time doing the fiber optics for the main hold. So today I wanted to do something a little different, just take a break from that. So I figured I just received the missing part 82 for issue 82. If you watch the previous videos, you see that you'll see that I got 2 issues of 85. Which of course I don't need. So Cheryl was nice enough to get that sent out to me, and it just arrived yesterday. So I figured it was a perfect excuse to build the mandibles now that I've had the missing parts. I was wondering, I was trying to put this together and something seemed off and wobbly, and I didn't understand what it was, and then I realized there's actually a little bump. Another reason I wanted to do the mandibles is actually to just for myself to kind of see some progress, because this is a structural part of the a structural and an integral part of the Millennium Falcon. So I wanted to do something that I could actually see physical progress as opposed to just fibers sticking out of parts. And as I said before, lots and lots and lots of screws. If I wasn't this far along, and I've finished most of the screw parts now. If I wasn't this far along, I probably actually would definitely get another screwdriver. If you don't remember this trick that I learned in elementary school, if your screwdriver is not magnetic, or if the magnetism has gone off slightly, get a magnet, rub it over it a few times, and it works brilliantly. All right, so the top and bottom skins for the mandibles are done. Now it's time to work on the inserts. It's gonna be nice to get more of the sprue trees out of the box as well. Get rid of some of the parts. Makes it easier to find the next ones. Whenever I cut parts off the tree, I always make sure that the flat side of the cutters is towards the part. And as you see right here, if it is a very small part, or if I'm afraid that I might break it because I'm kind of heavy-handed, I'll actually cut the sprue tree first and then trim it later. And of course, lots and lots of time spending filing, sanding, getting all the mold lines off, any release points, anything that's going to stand out later when the model's finished that doesn't look like it was supposed to be there. I want to make sure it's gone before I put it together. It's funny putting these inserts together. I believe I read somewhere that when they were building the original back in the 70s, they did, of course, do a lot of kit bashing and lots of parts from other kits. And it's kind of funny, as I put this together, I can see how some other parts may be part of other kits. Like things look like motors. I found one that looked like an electric motor attached to a pump. At least in my mind, it looked like that. So I can imagine that they grabbed similar parts, off different kits. Of course, these for this kit are made specifically for this one. But again, I can see where the original builders, grabbed some stuff from other kits. It's kind of interesting. So I finished the first 2. Of course, right, there's 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom of each mandible, so there's actually 8 of these little inserts that you've got to build. I kept thinking, I was like, oh, I just got 2 more to go. Oh, he's got 2 more to go. But of course, that happened 4 times. Lots and lots of little parts. let's make sure that we put them in the right way around. I would hate for the whole thing to be together and then find out that one of my inserts was actually completely backwards or in the wrong location. So I did take some time to make sure that I was putting them in the right location. Now this is kind of interesting. These are supposedly, according to the instructions, brass screws. I do seem to remember that magnets don't stick to brass, especially since brass is copper and zinc together. So there must be some iron in there somewhere, because they are magnetic, which is kind of strange, but neat. It's kind of cool to see it, coming together and see how everything's going to fit and it's going to look. And I know how big it's going to be, of course, because I have the top and bottom skins finished already. But it's just nice to see, again, another major structural part that's going to, make the whole shape come together. So many more piping, lots and lots of piping on the outside, top and bottom. For the most part, I'm just trying to glue all the pipes and other greeblies and etc. to the skins, so that way, if I do need to take out the inserts, and I am planning, of course, on painting everything, including the whole skin and everything. So that's why I decided to go ahead and put it together, because I'm going to do a black base coat for the shadows and start with that, and then work my way up to the lighter parts. So that's why I figured I'd just go ahead and put everything together, because I'm going to give it a big, a full coat anyway. Yeah, but like I was saying, I'm trying to glue the pipes just to the skin and not to the inserts, so that way, if they do need to come out, I can take them out again. And the fit's quite good. They pop into place really nicely. The side panels here actually use countersunk screws. They're tiny, because of course the skins on the outside need to mount flush. Definitely magnetize your screwdriver. It made it so much easier. It was slightly magnetic before, but if I bumped the screw, it would fall off. Luckily now they don't. It stays on there. So yeah, grab yourself a little magnet, rub it on your screwdriver. So thank yourself. All right, now the top and bottom skins are together, at least on that side. Decided I was going to go ahead and add the greeblies to the side panels. Now I can't add all of them because some of them overlap the top and bottom panels, so I do have to wait to install some of the parts until after I install the side panels. The instructions do say that once you've put everything together, that you should glue the side panels on. I really don't want to do that, just in case. I know I'm putting the whole thing together. The only light that's going to go in here is the headlight on each side, and that's just a single wire basically, so that's not going to be hard to run through there. I used to fly radio control planes. If you've ever built a radio control plane, you know what it's like to pull long thin wires through wings and around screws and around spars, etc., etc. So here I just realized that I couldn't actually just put them together and be done with it, because of course I have to build the inserts first. So that was a little Homer Simpson moment there for me. This little piece here looked like a guy with a mohawk. It was weird. I'm sure it's a gear or something from some other kid at one point. Again, just making sure they're lined up correctly. And the right way around. Alright, those are in. Back to pipes. Most of the time, wherever the pipes go, there's a little indent in the insert for the end, where the end fit. So it's again, it works quite well. Just glue them to the skins, and that way the inserts can still be removed if need be. Now, of course, now that I've said this, watch when I take it out, it'll be impossible to get back in because I'll have to line up all the ends of the pipes. But I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure I can do it. It's nice seeing it come together, though. Even just adding the pipes really makes a huge difference. I think it makes it look so much more real. Again, there's 8 of them. Always 2 more. Always 2 more. Sorry for my fat fingers. I know they get in the way. Even for me, sometimes it's hard to see. I just have to guess until I put the piece in place, and then I can actually see whether it's correct or not. What I try to do a lot of times for these small parts, if there is a hole that goes through the piece, I'll just add glue to the bottom rather than put glue on it first, because that way it does go through, especially being super glue. It runs through. I do have medium and thin super glue. Of course, I'm not using thin for this because thin is literally like water and it will just run through everything and get all over everywhere. It's great for some applications, but this medium works perfectly, and it's plenty thin. You can see I do sometimes dip them in there if it's just a really easy insert, but what I don't like about doing that is if you have glue on the piece and then you try to put it in and you miss slightly, you'll get a glue smear on the part. Just more work. Clean it up. I don't want to do that. Back to adding the greeblies on the outside again. Now I can actually put them together. Now that I've built the inserts. This part, test fit. Well, test fit any part, always, anyway. But definitely this part test fit it. Of course, there's 2, one on each mandible. The first one I actually put together incorrectly. It's just simple, but it just, going by the instructions, I just misread it. I didn't misread it. I just looked at it wrong. And glued it on slightly. A really easy fix, but just double check it, make sure it fits right before you, because there's 2 parts that go together first before sticking it to the skin. Make sure you stick them together the right way. Yeah, I think it's quite interesting having just the inserts installed and the mandibles put together. Looks good, but as soon as all the pipes are added, just the detail, it makes so much difference. Same thing on the side here. The parts they have some detail already on them, but once all the other greeblies are on, it really does look like the Millennium Falcon. Surprise! It's supposed to. And for most of these pieces, since the holes do go all the way through to the back, I'm just putting them on and then adding glue from the back. These two little pieces, of course, not. There's no hole. These things were tiny. And there's 12 on this one, and I believe there's 8 on the other side. Sometimes what I'll do if I'm worried about the part jumping around is I'll take a piece of painter's tape, that blue or green, they have different kinds now, and stick it to the parts, so that way when you do cut them off the screws, they don't fly all over everywhere. These little pieces weren't that bad, they didn't really jump, but if you do have small pieces that could jump, just put a piece of tape on the back of it so that once you cut the screw, the piece still stays there stuck to the tape and it doesn't jump away. One thing I try to do in my my work area right here is before I start working and then after I start working, after I finish working every evening, is I sweep the floor really well. And that way, if I do drop something, it's a lot easier to find it. Because if I drop something and it bounces around, because I swept earlier, I just have to sweep a little bit, and there should be very little, dust and other junk. And it's quite simple usually to find the small parts. This piece right here looks funny. This reminds me like of a radar dome off of like an aircraft carrier or something. Installing these tiny parts is not hard. It's quite easy actually. The hardest part is prepping them, filing, sanding, getting the little bits off, trimming them, make sure they're nice and clean, because they are so tiny and my fingers are so fat. It's hard. It's tricky. Note to self, you guys will see in a moment that when I have the glue right in front of me, the part stays more in the middle of the screen. Now that I move the glue and the part's in front, you'll see that it starts to slip down, and I apologize. I will work on that. Note to self, keep the glue in front, keep the part in the middle. On each of the mandibles, on the inside, the front inside panel is that small one that I'm working on right now. Of course, huge difference. There are other panels for the mandibles, side panels for the mandibles have some details already built in, but the two front ones don't. So adding these bits really makes it come alive. Really makes it look like it's supposed to. It's just cool. It's cool to see it grow and evolve. I think that's it for the side panels. Yeah, that's it. So that's as far as I could get. Again, I don't want to glue the side panels on, but that's pretty much the mandibles done. All the greeblies are on. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching today. May the 4th be with you. Watch out for Cinco de Mayo tomorrow and then the Revenge of the 6th. Thanks so much.